Hello, my fellow nerds out there. It's Oracle Nerd Richie, and welcome to the life we've chosen. This is another visual novel game that I found around the internet. It looked interesting enough, and the creature that was on the title kind of reminded me of Grimm from Ruby. So so and y'all know y'all probably don't know this, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Ruby series. So yeah, anyways, let's just start. Warning, this game contains mature themes such as mental illness, mainly depression, and unhealthy relationships. I wasn't coming home today. I'm going to have to work all day tomorrow to make up for my distracted mind. I was going to work inside until nightfall. I decided to only do a few hours in the afternoon. It should have been easy enough, but in the end, I couldn't even handle that much. It's just one of those days. It's always one of those days. Just as my thoughts began to wander, the demon appears. They always seem to manifest themselves out of thin air, when I'm not looking, or I never learn. Their large form is hunched over and wrapped in a tattered cloak, just like on the day I first became aware of their presence. Though the seasons have changed, the demon has not moved from this spot. They never initiate conversation with me. Instead, it's as if they offer me a choice to leave and pretend we never saw each other at all. I do not leave. Hello again. The only response I get is a sleeping rumble in the back of their throat. Sometimes I wonder if my visits annoy them. It doesn't seem like the demon ever has anything else to do, but that doesn't mean I'm not an inconvenience. I remind myself once again that if I was a bother, the demon could simply remain hidden from me. It's not like I can force them to show themselves. These meetings are their choice too. It's been a full year since our first meeting, hasn't it? The lake's been obscured by the heavy fog once again. I kind of miss this haze. There's something comforting about it. The demon doesn't respond. It often takes some time to get them talking, as if they need a moment to wake up, or perhaps they're simply taking their time deciding whether the conversation is worth having in the first place. Are you cold? After a calculated pause, the demon draws a raspy breath. Their deep voice reverberates somewhere in their chest, with an untapped potential. But still, the sound that comes out of their beak-like mouth is barely louder than a sigh. The weather does not harm me, human. You would be wise to redirect your concerns. I have an extra blanket I could bring you. No. I knew there was no point in making the offer, but the demon's predictable answer amuses me regardless. The calm I felt after arriving there didn't last long. The plans I've made for tonight invade my mind out of nowhere. I can't stay long. My friend is coming to pick me up soon. The one you've spoken of before, I presume. You remember? Her name's Ella. I don't know if I told you before. I have no interest in your names. Right, I probably shouldn't either. I probably wouldn't either. It would be tactless for a human to say such a thing, but the demon's bluntness is refreshing in a way. You won't have to memorize many names for my sake. I have very few friends. It's really just Ella, and perhaps the demon themselves. It feels presumptuous to think of the demon as my friend, but what I don't say out loud, they won't know. I'm fairly certain they can't read minds. The demon shifts ever so slightly, adjusting their cloak. I still can't help thinking they must be cold.
Your visits to this place have become more frequent lately. The observation makes my chest feel tight in a familiar way. Have they? A year ago, during the darkest days of fall, I also spent a lot of time down here. I had just moved into a small and cheap house up the slope, alone for the first time in my life. The house was suffocating. I had only a few things going on in my life, and yet everything felt like too much to handle. I don't know what to do with myself without anyone at home to perform happiness for. The lakeside felt like the only place I could breathe. It's happening again, isn't it? And I don't glance at the demon reveals that they're waiting for me to elaborate. I guess I like it better here. Better than your dwelling, you say? Yeah. Perhaps you should look into finding a more comfortable home. I can never tell whether they're joking. It's not the building that's the problem. The problem is all the things I need to do there, and all the things I need to think about. It's too much sometimes. I see your kind is still obsessed with arbitrary responsibilities. You're not wrong. But when I'm here, I feel like I can just exist in peace, I suppose. It's nice. A fallen leaf lands silently in the moss, growing from the demon's body. I've never once seen them move since our first meeting a year ago. They've never failed to show up when I've come looking for them. Are they really here all the time? My curiosity is great, but the topic is a little too close to home for me to address directly. Do you like it here? The demon draws a raspy breath before responding with an audible exhaustion in her voice. It does not matter whether I like it here or not. I am here, and that is what I've chosen. There's a sense of finality in their words that stuns me for a moment. There are many more questions I'd like to ask, but in that moment I realize I'm late. I'm sorry, I have to go now. I can't make Ella wait. Do not apologize, human. Oh, there is a leaf on the moss! That's so cool! I really like that attention to detail. I catch Ella just as she's getting out of her car in my driveway. If I'd left just a moment earlier, I would have had time to go back inside and pretend I'd been there all day, but now it's too late. Hey, aren't you cold like that? Where's your jacket? I'm fine. Where's yours? Don't need one in the car, Dumbo. What are you doing in the woods? I was just about to ring your doorbell when I saw you. I made a panic sound while I tried to think of what to say. I forgot to come up with an excuse. I ran into someone. Who? A neighbor? Kind of. Kind of? Who was it? I hesitate. I hate lying, but I still need more time. When I tell her about the demon, I'll have to do it in the right way. I felt terrible for lying to her once again, but I just don't have the courage today. It was just someone from the area. I don't know where they live. Ella makes that face that tells me a lecture is coming. Do you remember what Miss Bailey taught us in first grade? Don't talk to strangers, especially not in scary places after dark. We're not children. No, but you live alone. Who's gonna help you if something happens to you? She knows I still don't have an answer to her question, although she's asked it many times. I'm shrugging defeat. Well, I'm sure you remember you've got a spare room at my place if you ever need it. How could I forget when she's reminded me about it every few months? Thanks, but I'm fine. I just worry about you, you know that? Ella bites her lip to appear endearing, Although I know it's a trick, I have to admit it kind of works. After making sure I saw her display, Ella puts on a peppy face, seemingly satisfied with having guilt-tripped me out of arguing back. Anyway, let's go, shall we? We can't have you running out of canned soup again. We get in the car. Oh god, I'm actually tired. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't get too much sleep anymore. I've been trying to, though. Sorry about making you do this right after work again. No, I'm kind of glad. It's good for me to see friends now that things are over with Elijah. They are? Ella doesn't even try to hide the bitter disdain in her voice. Didn't I tell you? He doesn't want to make them move into a crappy little town like this. His words, not mine. I hadn't realized it was that serious. I feel slow for not having made the connection on my own. A better friend would have seen these signs. Anyway, it's for the best. If we'd gotten married, we would have been Ella and Elijah forever. Can you imagine? Ella and Elijah. It just sounds wrong, doesn't it? I mean, not really, but considering I know very little about this, I personally, as a player, know very little about this world, I guess I could say it's wrong. I guess. You, on the other hand, have a super rad last name. Maybe we could get hitched. Were we still in middle school? I would have blushed at a joke like that. I would have kept thinking about it for weeks, trying to decipher whether there may have been some genuine interest hidden in it. Now, however, we're older. But then you would have to deal with me every day. You don't want that. Hey, don't pretend you know everything about me. Ooh. Okay. Hey. Who is in the studio with this? It became dark outside while we did our shopping. I should be good for another 2 weeks. As I'm loading my groceries into the trunk, I catch Ella watching me from the corner of my eye. What? Did you know Sally owns the hair salon now? Her boss left and went back to school for a second degree. So it was my neglected hair that caught her attention. Figures. Oh, good for her. I was thinking we could go see her sometime. You haven't seen her in a while, have you? It'd be fun to just show up randomly at her workplace someday. Maybe. I don't know. Wouldn't that be kind of rude? What? No, she'd be happy. I'm sure. I doubt she gets many customers on her own anyway. Her boss was the good one, you know? Don't tell her I said that. Ella looks thoughtful as she locks the car trunk. Do you think Sally doesn't like you or something? No, nothing like that. I just thought it would be bad manners for us to show up without warning. You think too much sometimes, you know that? It's really not a big deal. Just before I change the topic, I glance at the locked trunk, pretending to have remembered something. Oh, I was going to get the garbage bags. We can go back. No, I'll get them some other time. I have 1 or 2 left. I don't know if I can drive you next week. Will you really be fine? I have a bike. A bike you hate using. I don't hate it. I just haven't had a reason to use it lately. Thanks to you. I try to give Ella an appreciative smile, which only comes across as forced, but she accepts it gracefully anyway. You're welcome. The moment I got home, thoughts about tomorrow invaded my mind. I have nothing to distract myself with from the dread of having a full work day ahead of me. Normally, on an evening like this, I would escape to the lake, but even I would feel embarrassed doing so twice in one day. Perhaps I still have some dignity left. I ended up going to bed early, or too early. I practically ran out the door when the email arrived. Something about my performance, low words per hour rating. I'll never be good enough, will I? I really tried my best this week. After that one day when I couldn't handle anything, this is supposed to be an easy side job anyone could do. When I arrive at the lake, I almost want to cry, but I manage to calm myself with a deep breath. One thing at a time. Today, everything is still alright. I tell myself, today I'm not falling apart. I won't think about it today. I address the demon beside me. There's something else on my mind, an idea that began forming a few days now. An idea that could take a lot of pressure off of me. Can I bring Ella to meet you? Only after I've asked the question do I realize I'm not sure if I even greeted the demon properly today. My obsession with the idea may have overridden my manners. Luckily, the demon isn't concerned about manners anyway. They respond in a sleepy, uninterested tone. It is your life and your choice, human. You do not need my permission. I would still like to have it. This is your home. There's a long pause, longer than usual. When the demon finally speaks, it's with reluctance. I do not presume to know how your friend will react to meeting one of my kind. However, in my experience, these events rarely end well. This path could lead you to much suffering. Perhaps it will, but that's not what I asked. Do I have your permission or not? Demon sighs submissively. You do. Alright then, I'll bring her sometime soon. Thank you for looking out for me. Judging by his surprised reaction, the demon isn't used to being thanked. But I should try saying nice things more often. In order for Ella to react well, I'll need to plan a plan of some sort. How do I introduce a demon to someone who has never met one and probably doesn't believe they exist? You haven't told me your name. I have no name. There's a subtle tightness in the demon's voice, just noticeable enough for me to tell that I shouldn't push the issue. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to introduce you to Ella. A name isn't necessary, but some kind of descriptor would be good to have, I think. You will figure it out. You're useless. The lack of reaction immediately makes me regret what I just said. I'm sorry, that was a joke. Humor is not new to me. It has changed very little since its conception. It was still a bad joke. They do not seem offended. I thought the demon was talking for a second. They do not seem offended. I make a mental note to watch my mouth. Regardless, this isn't Ella I'm talking to. When did I start making the same jokes as her anyway? I've never even liked that kind of humor. She likes to make friendly jabs, but a jab is still a jab. She wasn't like that when we were young. I closed my eyes for a bit. Now that I've told the demon about my plan, I feel both relieved and anxious. I was hoping relief would be the frontmost feeling, but it isn't. A cold breeze from the lake causes a shiver to run down my entire body. Return to your dwelling. Nights like this are not meant for humans. I don't want to. This is all going to change. Next time we meet, this will all be different. I'm a little scared.
What of?
I don't know what Ella is going to think of you. This. Of you.
Already you are having second thoughts.
No, I'm not. I've made my decision. I'm not going to keep hiding you from her as if you're something shameful.
It is a matter of honesty, then.
Yes, but it's not just that. I lose my nerve before I can articulate the difficult thought in my head. I feel the demon's watchful eyes on me. Where where do you where do they get the patience to always wait for me to sort out my thoughts? It's hard to imagine Ella or anyone else being that interested in what I have to say. Perhaps that's exactly it. I've been thinking for a long time. It's been like Ella and I don't really see each other. We talk often, but I feel as if she doesn't really hear me. I don't think she really knows me at all. I want her to understand me better. I want her to know what's really going on.
What is going on?
The question hits me hard. It shouldn't have. It was just a question, but I forget to breathe for a moment. What is going on with me? Oh, we actually get to make a choice. Okay. Holy crap. That took like, how long? 21 minutes to get to a choice. My goodness. I just need to confess something to you. I need her. I don't know. Can I save, please? Okay, so also I gotta say firsthand that when I was reading the game page, I found out that there are actually 3 different endings. So I'm guessing these choices will lead me to one of those 3 endings. Let's go with I need to confess something to you. I feel like that would be one of the I feel like that would be one of the endings. Okay, so I did save, so we can go back here if I mess up. I say that, although I'm not sure how to word my confession. The demons sit still as ever, but there is something off about them. Looking in their eyes, I see an emotion I can't quite name, but I can't help thinking it looks a lot like sorrow. Why? I'm sorry, should I not? The demon breathes in seemingly deeper than usual.
It is not that I don't wish to hear what you have to say. It is the timing that is precarious. There are enough variables in the air as it is. I fear having this conversation now would only complicate things.
By the way, how do you guys like my demon voice? I've been working pretty hard on it. It seems they've understood my meaning, although I'm not entirely sure what I was going to say myself. I understand. Another time, then.
Another time.
We fall back into shared silence, although we both know there is something if there's something in it we are both ignoring. It feels odd, but I trust the demon's judgment better than I trust my own. Although the night is still young, a wave of drowsiness sweeps over me. I could almost fall asleep standing up. The demon's silent presence is an immense source of comfort. It would be so easy to lie down and sleep right here, knowing they'd be watching over me. It's a selfish desire, and although I'm not bold enough to act on it, the thought brings me solace. A gentle nudge on my left shoulder. It wasn't warm or cold. It's as if it wasn't there at all. But I know I felt it. I look up, a little embarrassed, and the demon returns my gaze with the same hard-to-read eyes as always. Their voice, however, is soft.
return to your dwelling, please.
Although I'd prefer to cling to this moment a little longer, I can't deny the appeal of their recommendation. As I gathered up willpower to get moving, I realized my joints ached from the cold. The demon's common sense proves to be better than mine once again. I don't know what to say after all. See you soon. This is a really interesting story. I really like this already. I slept and dreamed of ominous and strangely comforting scenarios at night, all about failure. Reality couldn't possibly be worse. Once morning came, I was not afraid. Having made the decision earlier, the action came easier than I thought it would. When Ella arrived in my driveway, I simply asked her if she'd like to meet the neighbor I mentioned before. I tried to make the invitation as quick and casual as I could so that I wouldn't have time to talk myself out of it. Ella was clearly reluctant, but she agreed. I was hoping I would suddenly gain enough courage to try and explain the situation to Ella, but it didn't happen. I still find myself avoiding her questions. I'm afraid. The only way I can be honest with her is by taking her to see the demon with her own eyes. Ella stays close to me on the path to the lake. This is getting really creepy. Why can't we meet them at your house? We're almost there. During the short walk, I must have told Ella not to worry a dozen times already. We begin to descend down the lake. The demon is there waiting for us as they promised. They must have sensed our approach. I turn to Ella. Whoa, what is that? Some kind of... Then it hits her that what she is seeing is not a statue, but a living being. Her face contorts with shock and then horror. I've got to calm her down. I speak up using the most soothing tone I can muster. Come on, let's go talk. She doesn't respond or move. It's as if she's frozen in place. My words don't seem to reach her at all. Without warning, she grabs my hand and suddenly I'm being dragged back up the hill. Ella, wait, there's nothing to... I trip on something and nearly fall over, only kept up by Ella's stubborn grip on my hand. Hurry! Stop, Ella, let go of me! She doesn't stop until we arrive at her car, panting and frazzled. My shoulder is in pain from getting yanked around so violently. So angry and humiliated, I can feel the sting of tears behind my eyes. Why couldn't you just stop for 2 seconds? Ella ignores me. For a minute, we just lean against the car and catch our breath. Eventually, she speaks up with a stern tone. You can't stay in this house. Come live with me. This again? Now? You're joking, right? I'm serious. Let's get you out of that house, please. You have to get out. She's overreacting. This is even worse than I thought it was possible. I don't want to lose you. I'm not going anywhere. I've never seen her so desperate before. Her voice is strained for concern for me. You don't know that. It's a demon. We don't know what it can do. The demon would never hurt me. How can she even suggest they would? I trust them. They've been more honest than either of us, actually. It's a demon. What do you think demons do? They trick and seduce people and all that. Since when have you even cared about stories like that? You decided to start caring just now? She breathes heavily. I realize I'm doing the same. How did it come to this? We've never fought before, not like this. With every breath I regret this night more and more. I've ruined everything. It's manipulating you. I don't think so. It's really not. That's really nice, but how can you know? How do you know it's not going to hurt you? I guess I don't. I can't bring myself to acknowledge it out loud. For all the deep conversations we've had, I barely know anything about the demon. So, suddenly, there are tears in Ella's eyes. Despite everything, it pains me to see her upset. I almost can't stand looking at her. I don't want to lose you. I want to reassure her somehow, but I already know there's nothing I say will help. She's not going to understand what the demon means to me. I try to blink back the tears, but it's useless. This is all useless. Ella, she's very close. My heart begins pounding again, but the catalyst is not fury this time. We've never been this close before. Ella's hands reach for my shoulders. When was the last time she touched me? On the school playground when we were 10? This is different. This can't be. No, she wouldn't. Would she? There's no way. She's not interested in me. She's never returned my feelings. My feelings? I don't know what I feel anymore. It's all messed up. I'm so tired of trying to make sense of all this. Maybe if I just let Ella guide me? Yes? No? Oh, we got a yes and no option. Oh, God, what do we do? I have no idea what we do. Okay, this seems like a good spot to save here. Okay, well, I'm saving here for now, I guess. I'll leave this here. I'll leave this episode here for now, I suppose. This is an amazing game. I really like seeing where the story is going, but I really need to end it here for now because, you know, gotta build up suspense and all that. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think we should do in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment, and also be sure to comment what you think. Share this video with your friends and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a